Was known Constitution Park to be where the Princery is, where Parliament is, where the park itself was, and where the old courthouse used to be. And so when I made reference to $1 for Constitution Park, clearly I was not meaning the entire park. I was making reference to what the discussion was about. The discussion was about the location for the halls of justice at the bottom of Constitution Park. And there are separate block and parcel numbers, and the contract that we have, that we got from Trinidad, clearly states that the government was going to lease the land to the developer for $1. So instead of coming out and trying to be smart and to show people the land registry for where the Sir John's statue is, everybody knows that that's not what I was making reference to.
There appears to be some confusion on your statement that Constitution Park was sold for $1. Can you clarify this situation?
I've always known Constitution Park to be where the Princery is, where Parliament is, where the park itself was, and where the old courthouse used to be. And so when I made reference to $1 for Constitution Park, clearly I was not meaning the entire park. I was making reference to what the discussion was about. The discussion was about the location for the halls of justice at the bottom of Constitution Park. And there are separate block and parcel numbers, and the contract that we have, that we got from Trinidad, clearly states that the government was going to lease the land to the developer for $1. So instead of coming out and trying to be smart and to show people the land registry for where the Sir John's statue is, everybody knows that that's not what I was making reference to.
You know, first Justice said we sold the land. You remember?
Yes.
Now he said we leased the land.
That well, after he and Spider had their little
exchange,
you know?
exchange.
Yes.
So we didn't sell.
Sold, lease, sold.
Yes. And he then says everybody knows that's not what he's referring to.
Yeah.
But he has always known Constitution Park to be the Parliament, the Princery, the old courthouse. You know, what do you think Sir John must be saying in his grave then?
Well, just as an aside, you know there is no longer the Gulf of Mexico. It's now the Gulf of America.
Okay, yeah.
Now, so the Constitution Park that we all know. Like I wrote a little puff piece on that on Facebook, that as a police officer, I knew Gasris.
Yes.
Yeah,
Constitution Park is squarely the area where St. John's thing is.
And that is where you have, remember back in the day, I don't know if you ever were part of that, but on a Saturday,
Joey.
we'd go and take a little lime around there, young fellas, go and take a little lime there to spot the girls and that kind of thing. I know where Constitution Park is. I used to lime there. Then there were the fellas on one side talking politics.
Yeah.
Right?
Constitution Park was basically a place for congregation on a social level.
Yes.
That's what.
No. If
the man said he thought the Constitution Park was owned by the Princery.
But no, that just, as you said earlier, Richard, that just shows you this man does not know anything.
He does not know St. Lucia.
But there's Beano Park right there. What are you talking about?
Right, exactly. Beano Park. What separates Constitution Park from Beano Park is Parliament. The Parliament building.
Yes. And Beano Park is between Parliament and the Princery.
I just redid Beano Park.
So you put in a park within a park.
He put Constitution Park within. He put
Beano
Park within Constitution Park. What you got? Kwame Mundas with me, say, buddy.
Richard, you say that, and everybody's taking this as a joke, Daraso. Daraso is not a joke, Richard.
It means the man is not St. Lucian and he has nothing. This St. Lucian. Alan Schatz, they cannot sing our national anthem.
But I know that.
He cannot sing our national
I know that.
anthem.
But I'm taking it. You see, this St. Lucian thing is a mark. But I'm taking it right down, Richard. Let's crystallize this. You are representing that constituency for the second time they voted you. And you do not know
Its name.
that it's... You know why he doesn't know it?
Because he
It's not
doesn't
important.
care.
He doesn't care.
Exactly.
It's not important to him.
He has used the people from there
Yes.
to elevate to the status he once
Yes.
was, and he wants to use them again for that purpose.
Precisely.
But he doesn't give a damn about
Exactly.
the pronunciation of
Darasso.
Darasso.
You know?
Whatever it is.
If he cared at all, Richard, if he cared at all, he would know where Deriso is. He would know where Angers is. He would know where higher up Blanchard. He'd know where Chicla. He'd go around Tiroche. He would go around Diga. You'd know where all these places are.
The man is not interested in either St. Lucia nor the welfare of its people. His sole concern is what St. Lucia and its people can do for him.
Right.
You know, when you tell me, and this infuriates me, Albert, every time I remember this vaccine thing, when the man is prepared to send our St. Lucian brothers and sisters as guinea pigs,
yes.
as animals to be tested upon.
Lab rats.
Boy, let me tell you. And up to now, I don't know if of late he's doing better. But he could not even have sung one verse of the national anthem.
He can't.
And I challenge anybody. I challenge y'all flubos. When you hear the national anthem, sit next to Shastni or watch him as he attempts to sing our national anthem.
Let him rehearse all tonight.
He
And
can rehearse for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. Tomorrow, when he sings it, he is lost for words because the St. Lucianness is not in him. Chasne passa chante national anthem.
Now, the other thing, Richard. Typically, St. Lucian, we Christian. Typically, right?
The Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
He can sing.
Half loaf. What?
He can sing.
Half loaf behind him.
Half
Half loaf.
They cannot even say the Lord's Prayer.
And the Lord's Prayer is universal.
It is. It is.
And what I'm saying, Richard, is like typically St. Lucian, we grew up in the thing, you know. Let even Norman son, you know, Chimeno, you know.
Some way, our father wanted them. Hello. And that is the man.
And he's
we
St.
had
Lucian. Let me listen. This man's had something there. Which I just, you know, I was not too well, as you well know, so I couldn't be bothered to really deal with that. Where he's talking about how he's St. Lucian and when,
Yes.
and the man has no shame, you know, talking about when he was basketball captain of St. Lucian. You are not basketball captain. Your father bought that for you.
The same way they bought him the seat.
There's Skekky, the late.
How you mean?
I don't know, and that is that. There was an interview with Skekky before he died.
Yes.
Because Skekky was the captain of
course.
you know, and they come and tell Skekky, you know, let that man captain the team. And in Grenada, they let him captain the team, and then the fellas revolted
Yes. All of them.
against him.
Yes.
After 2 games, I think they revolted against him.
Yes.
Like, oh, when I was basketball captain, you should be ashamed to talk about that. Don't talk about that because you know how you became basketball captain.
And let me tell you, mate suffers from autism. But let me shout out a couple of people, Albert. I know you want to do something. Cyril, good night to you. Your daughter Solange, good night, good night. Javi Shalman, good night. Nicolette Dove, Angel V, good night. Secure, Frances Rob, Madri, Miss Madri. Merci pour poisson, Miss Madri. Merci pour poisson. Difficile, n'avin ma poisson. Si, go poisson, my vli. Pas bien sti poisson. Go poisson, my vli. Good night to Hyacinth. Good night to you. Good night to Fidonia, Kenya, Kima. Good night to you guys. Albert.
Oh yeah. Oh, Skiddy Chicken, man. We have
Skiddy.
Yes.
Skiddy.
Yes. Good night, Sylvia Cadas. Good night. Jackie from Antrepo. Good night. Val Harris. Good night. Oh, my own Val as well. Good night. You know, the Louison family. Good night. Yvonne Egad, Pinky, Sakafet. Natalie de Turville. from the US. Thomas and Ingrid Joseph, good night. Andre McCombie. Oswald Joseph, good night. Frances Paul. Now, I think I'm going to go right through with mine, Richard.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Asher. Now, Diamond, my daughter. Yeah, Mark Motherfrown. Sabina Emilie and Gilbert Henry. Nikki Henry. Bowman, the bus driver, good night. Miss Stanislas. Coco Flo. And Michael on the Daito in Henry. Now, Richard, I'm going to say a special shout out here, and I want you to assist me. Yeah? Special shout out to Cuthbert Twatini Modest.
Oh yes, indeed.
Right.
Oh yes, indeed.
Now St. Lucia, we have to
Now
celebrate.
Bob Mangal asked to shout out some new people. Nigella Jabatis, good night to you. Peter Bruce, good night. Good night to Celestine. Mary Celestine, good night to you. Jude Pokes Hallow, good night. Garfield, Mervyn Joseph. Alcindo Eve, good night, good night, good night. Andy Donai, good night. Junior Cartel, the man himself. And of course, what Finney is his name again? The one who never ceased to amaze me. Alison Finney.
Oh, Alison, yes. Yeah. No, he doesn't take prisoners.
Yeah, at all.
Yes.
All right.
So, anyway, we're talking
Yes.
about Twatini.
Yes,
We
yes,
must
yes.
give Twatini his props because if you will.
Aaron Alexander, good night to you, my brother. No, Twatini, we need to have some time to speak of Twatini.
And one of these days we must invite Twatini here.
All right. We will.
I think, but didn't you invite him one time?
Yes, he was with me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was with me. Latoya Popo, good night to you. Trevor, good night to you. Yes, he was with me one time. Albert, you want to do?
Yeah, let me just Cecilia Ale, good night. Nicolas Dovey, Angel Isaac, Camilla Jean-François, Pamela Jean, Tenny Andrew, my favorite person, Tenny Andrew.
Tenny Andrew, good night to you.
Al Henry, good night. Hermin Alexander, Bosway.
Yeah, the boy, Nicola, you seem to own that show, man. Everybody shouting you. Albert shout you twice. I shout you about 3 times.
That's what we did.
Hey, by the way, Nicola, them flabbers, when they have nothing to do, you work with baby. And invariably, you'd have pictures with baby. They put it up and they say, you're a baby woman. Them people are something else, you know.
They see you talking to
crap
somebody.
alone.
And
Crap alone.
I will not even tell you what's been said about you. That's okay.
Mamele, I've heard so much before. Look, that little thug who was at my house say I have something with that other one, mother. And thank God, Daniel Thomas, good night to you. She's in the house there, she's there. Busy on the thing. John Filges, John Marius, good night to you, good night. Yuris Ula, Mostin Zol, Boswe. And of course, your uncles, Hayden, good night.
Speaking of Hayden, finish it. Hayden
Thomas.
Lionel.
Oh, Lio.
Yes.
Oh, there, Lionel. All right. Oh, yes, and of course, the Sewax in Forest there, Menaces, Kisera, Leonard, and all the others. Good night to all of you. Dexter James,
Alban.
Asher Henry, Alban Polio,
Snake.
ex-sergeant.
Snake, Montooth.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kegri Montoot,
Right.
116. That is it. Andrew Stanislas. Good night. So, folks, Dashville.
Yes.
255.
All the dashes.
Oh, they have a lot of them.
Yes.
You know, folks, so let's move on. Meanwhile, because I've not even started my speech here, and that's what I have to read tonight. Meanwhile, the fellas are trying to destroy this country. Remember, a host of things Shasta has said. A host of things Shasta has said. Basically to paint St. Lucia in bad light. Shasta has said St. Lucia will lose its correspondent banking. You remember that?
Yes. We're well on the way to losing it.
The man tagged with criminals.
Yes.
Martinez and others.
Convicted, jailed, criminal.
You know, just to bring down our CIP. He rejoiced when Malpines said that there's a case and there'll be a bombshell and a bombshell and a bombshell. Up to now,
The shells.
it's just the shells, the bomb.
No bomb. Well,
More, well, I don't know if they made it, but the shells alone. You know, nonsense alone and tagging with those criminals. Oh, mo where you are like that taxi driver from Babuno. Huh? Mo where you are like Twamun play not equi FBI. Yo twa ale play na yo awe te you. Pour buy CIP deban mante kozoye. So I just first story let's set me see.
FBI la say
Within the American sell FBI back had been pièce lot pay say American. Then after that thing didn't work, Shasta filed an injunction to prevent the government from receiving funds of CIP, just to stifle the progress that the government is making. He put us in a situation with T.O.R. King, and he's gloating about the possibility of T.O.R. King taking us to court.
Making good on the contract that he
But exactly, he placed us in the position, you know, and rejoicing over it. The European Union said, look, we have to revisit those countries that come to our shores without visas. And he's doing as though it's the government that caused it. Nobody has targeted St. Lucia specifically. Then they're saying the U.S. released a list and St. Lucia is on the list. Boom, they are rejoicing as though St. Lucia has been targeted. Notwithstanding, somebody from the Homeland Department said that there is no list, you know, and they're rejoicing over a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with government and its policies. A man said, they said they arrested a man, the pastor Quem, with the pastor from America. What's his name again?
So I mean, people I don't know if you have no time for this man.
Putting up the man's thing as though, folks, even if you receive citizenship of any country, that does not remove from you the ability to get involved in crime. It does not remove the ability. Everybody, we are human beings. We are human beings. Even the Bible says that. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. We all are sinners. So the holder of a St. Lucian passport, that does not make him immune, crime immune. No, but you all said he was involved in crime and he was arrested. The man released a video saying, look, I am not arrested. This is not true. But those are the things they gloat over. Those are the things that they rejoice over in the quest to see St. Lucia reduced to rubbles, reduced to ashes over which they want to rule. But ça pas qu'à fait. Là non bon Dieu, ça pas qu'à fait. Ça pas qu'à fait. Then you have a situation, 2024 was our best year. Our best year in the history of this country insofar as tourism arrivals are concerned. And the best year in our history. But Dominic Fele will say all the negative things. This one drop, that one drop, that one drop. And then we're on the precipice of failure, precipice of collapse. Nonsense. Those guys, all they want to instill fear in our people. They want to ensure that our people are sufficiently intimidated and that they would not re-elect the government. But gone are the days when that kind of intimidation would work. People are wise, people are smart, people are savvy, and even the older folks who may not be in a position to download an article on the internet, their children and grandchildren will do it to them and make them wise. So go back with your rhetoric, but take a listen to Dominic Fede as Ernest Hilaire dematises him.
And I must say that the former Minister of Tourism was almost smirking and smiling that tourism numbers have declined precipitously, and how, he almost gloated in all markets we were declining, whatnot.
That the Canadian market is down 20%. Yes, you heard right. 20, not 2, not 5, not 4. 20%. The UK market maybe outpaces the American market in room nights. And that market has slumped by 10%. You've heard right. 10%. The French market very important market as well. That market has slumped by 14%. Huge numbers. Precipice. Collapse.
Although our numbers last year were the best numbers ever, we had almost more than 500 rooms not available. Not available. And yet we had the best year ever. So I don't get worried when I hear too much talk about, numbers declining and the whole industry will collapse. How last year you had your best year ever and 2 months later it's collapsing? I mean, it just show you. I will leave my political response for another place, another time. But I have one that I want to give. Because if you can't see it, a place in your constituency named Teshida, you can't pronounce it, but you could represent me, But anyway,
I'm from Diraso.
so here it is.
I'm from Diraso. That was my voice in the end.
Not D, because D, he'd be on the right track to begin with. Diriso. The man said Daraso.
Daraso.
Daraso, that's what he said.
Daraso. Okay, I'm from Daraso.
Yes.
So those guys are doing their utmost to instill fear in our people. We had the best tourism figures in our history in 2024. The best in our history ever since tourists started coming here. But yet you are saying we will collapse. We're on the precipice of collapse and all kind of nonsense.
Let me ask you, Richard. Those figures that he's quoting there, that's for the beginning of the year tonight? Well,
But it has to be the beginning of the year. I don't know. Because obviously, those figures did not affect us.
no, but we're in March now, right?
We're in March. We are at the end of the financial year.
Yes.
Basically.
Uh-huh.
So even if, hear this well, Albert, 2024 was our best year. If those numbers did not fall, I'm not saying that they did, but if they did not fall as he alleged, it means we would have reached a target that would have been insurmountable. So forget about when those numbers apply. Because those numbers have been we have taken cognizance of those numbers in our calculations. And that, when you juxtapose to the fall in the numbers, in addition to we losing 500 rooms because the St. Lucian Hotel and two other hotels, I think, are under reconstruction and are not available for accommodation. So my point is, if we have done so well when the numbers are gone down and all our hotel room stock is not available, fallacy.
Yeah. But Richard, you've heard of lies, statistics, and damned lies,
Yeah.
right? Because the thing is, first of all, you say there's a slump. But it is a slump against what?
But that's not even important to us, Albert. Yeah. It's not important. You are going to cause an effect now and say that the policy is probably...
No, that's not what I mean. If you're going to say there's a slump, that means you're talking about a number here. That number against what number? That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. But even that, you see, because what he does, he gives a raw percentage. But even with that, I'm still saying those numbers become unimportant given the fact that, one, we did not have our full hotel room stock. And notwithstanding your slump in the numbers, we gave the best performance in 2024.
But that's exactly, I think you're misunderstanding me. Because I'm saying, based on that very good, this superlative performance in 2024, right? If now there's a downturn against 2024, there's nothing to worry about.
But Albert, it's the same thing I'm saying. It's the same thing I'm saying. You have your best figures when two things are against you. One, you lack your full capacity of hotel room stock. And two, according to FEDE, the markets shrinked a bit. They contracted. So I'm saying, again, those numbers, the shrinkage, is totally irrelevant to you if you can put up that performance.
Based on what happened last year.
Exactly.
Yes.
If you can put up that performance against not having all your stock and against your main market shrinking, or contracting. So it tells you if we have all our hotel room stock and the figures go back to the original numbers, we would have surpassed, probably, we would have reached a record in the Caribbean. You know, but folks, that is what those guys are good at. They criticize. They say this, they say that. As though if there is some calamity, for example, the European market, we get the bulk of our tourists is Europe and America. If something happens, God forbid there is an earthquake, people can't travel, and our numbers out of that market contract, they'll say it's the government that caused the earthquake. The reduction in numbers, they'll blame it on us. I remember the time when there was dust in the atmosphere over Europe and planes could not have traveled. We felt the impact right here because we depend so heavily on the tourist dollar. We felt the impact. That was nobody's fault. So when Dominic Philly, Dominic, you all need to criticize us with bad policies. If things are happening from the markets where we get our tourists that are totally out of our control, totally, why come and tell us about shrinkage or contraction in those markets? Why? Eso ba inoufe? Eso ba inoufe? Es Philippe J.P. be il be gouvernement foba qui empêche touristes vini. And that's the kind of ignorance you all spew to the gullible ones. Nonsense. But what y'all cannot do, y'all cannot find fault with the rollout of the policies of the government, which read down to the benefit of our people. That is why the country is doing so well. Anytime anybody tells you, and it's less than 10% of the people who will tell you that, because in all the interviews at random, probably 1 out of 20 will tell you buy a movie. But when Shasta tells it to you, tell you, oh, the solution people. No chance they say the solution people. And that is why, look, the largest numbers in our history, 2024. The lowest unemployment in our history, down to single digits. 4 years, and I'll show the graph in a bit. 4 years of consecutive growth of over 3%. That is a record. At least the shackles were broken after a 33-year stint, a 33-year hiatus, a 33-year spell under which this country was. It has been broken, you know. And further, folks, in that clip, Ernest was addressing a groundbreaking ceremony of a new lookout point on the Millennium Highway, Asfiri. And I must say it was Tuesday, we were treated by the students of the Cicero Combined School. Put up that pic for me, please. Cicero Combined School, yes, man. What I didn't understand, I spoke about the gender imbalance. 2 boys and a lot of girls. I said, but wait, what's happening here? And those children sang and sang so very well. I must tell you all, I was proud of all of you. You all did very well. It is just that I wanted more boys, only 2 boys.
3 boys.
3, there's a third, oh yeah, 3. Yeah, 3. But that's disproportionate, Albert. How many girls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They're probably very happy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 3 to 14. What kind of ratio is that?
Yeah.
Plus the teacher, 3 to 15. Yes. So after that, they all went and mingled with the PM. Show that short clip for me, please. You mingled with the PM.
Boy, only 1 boy, eh? No, three boys.
Yeah, and then the Prime Minister has the same question. Only 3 boys. But play that little clip twice for me when they shouted what they really felt to the Prime Minister.
We love you, PM! We love you, PM!
We love you, PM. Yes, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What do you think, Albert?
That's very nice. When the young people, I mean, these are the people of tomorrow, you know.
Oh, yes, indeed. The doctors, the nurses,
Yes,
everything.
yes, so-
And on that note, let me say good night to two of the teachers that were there, Alina and Nikita. Thanks for your presence. We did appreciate all of you, Alina and Nikita.
Yeah. Now, Richard, since you mentioned doctor, we do have a sad moment here now. Remember, Dr. Jamacheri passed away.
Oh, yes, I heard that.
Yeah, Dr. Jamacheri.
Well, let's send condolences to her and the
To
family.
the family, indeed.
Yes.
Very sad, very sad. Yeah.
Yes. I want to get to the business of the house because that is where we are going now. Should we go for the break now and then come back immediately after? Okay, folks, we're going for a break. Stay tuned. Don't go far. We will not be long. And then we go into the business of the house and invariably my speech, my prepared contribution to the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2024-2025. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're watching MBC.
The winning numbers for the evening draw of Thursday, 3rd April 2025 were tic-tac-toe 4, 6, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. Big 4, 2, 3, 6, 9. Big 4 multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 0, 8. Pick 2 multi-X, FP. 1 off, 7, 4, 2. Lucky 3, 1, 8, 1. Lucky 3 multi-X, 2X.
You're watching MBC.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Looking for a certified specialist in motor vehicle inspections and evaluations? Check us at K&M Garage, located in Masad, Grosley. We also specialize in motor vehicle damage assessment reports, bodywork, part replacement, and ordering of motor vehicle parts for all vehicles. For more information, call 452-6596, 716-1333, or 716-0767.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from Paddy Access, especially Jermaine, for a job well done. I called him 2 days before my brother's funeral to do a live video, and I was not disappointed. He was professional and kept in touch with me throughout the live, just making sure I was satisfied with everything. I would definitely use Paddy Access again, and I highly recommend that anyone looking to do a live video to hire them. Everyone who watched my brother's funeral had good things to say about how much of a good job the videographer did. If you want satisfaction for your money, Paddy Access is the way to go.
Welcome back, folks, and thanks for staying with us. Just a few shout-outs right quick. Achibiri, good night. Louvi, Sylvester.
Achibiri in New York, right?
Yes, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's watching?
He's watching.
Achibi Saudia. Ula.
See from him, man. See. And the rest of the family, good night. Jennifer, Hazel, Georgiana, Shelly-Ann, good night. Eve, good night, Eve.
Okay, let me say good night to a couple of people very quickly. I'll say good night to Kishma Prosper, Denry South, Denry North, Sean again and again and again. Good night. Nigel Sinclair, Glenda down in Viewfort, Beverly Petra, good night. Let me say good night to members of the Team RF, Gail, Charmaine, Angel, Kim, Kabwit, Nigel, Valdo, and all the others. Cynthia, good night to you. Chef Thaddeus, good night. MacArthur, you're a good man, you know. You all right? You're a good man. You're a good man. You're just like burning a little too much, but you're a good man. Trish of there is a good night to you. Marie and Linus over in South Island, I know you all are locked on. FL Butt and FL Dread, the twin brothers, good night. Etchie, I understood that you are hospitalized. I wish you a very, very speedy recovery. I hope you're listening. Hopefully on Saturday when I'm making my rounds, you should be at home. If you are, I'll pass and give you a check out. John Marius in New York, good night to you. Pinky Payne, Sasha, good night to you. Aprox, Pasho Show, Dian, good night to you from Talvin. Shamian, good night. And Richie, good night. Owen Alcindor, all of you in New York. Pages, New York. Frances, New York. Sophia, New York. Teresa, New York. all of you down there. Danny, good night to you. Good night to Trevor in Canada. Good night to Trevor Francis again in New York. Roots of Rock Hall, good night to you. Matthew Roberts, good night. Master Wong, I know you're listening. So, folks, we are going into the business of the house. It's getting hot. I want to say this before I start my contribution. In the Westminster system of government, a prime minister lays his estimates, and the first person to speak to the estimates after the prime minister is the leader of the opposition. That is under the Westminster system of government, which we inherited from England. This is what happens in England. The prime minister lays his estimates, and the leader of the opposition responds. But you see, what the leader of the opposition is supposed to be responding to would be the estimates laid in the House. Okay? And that is how it is. Louis George was the sole member of the opposition for 5 years. For 5 years. And he did it, notwithstanding, he could have only spoken once. Always succeeded the prime minister then. Philip Joseph Pierre, the current prime minister, when the St. Lucia Labour Party lost the elections in 2016, Pip became leader of the opposition, and he did it for 5 years himself. The question is, why does this man, Alan Shastney, the same man who told the opposition then that they had lost the right to speak, why does he want to go against convention, against what we inherit from the Westminster system of government, and wants to determine when he speaks? Folks, the only two speakers, the only two who are ascribed to speak at given times are the prime minister and the leader of the opposition. After that is whoever catches the eye of the speaker. So it is prime minister with his estimates, leader of the opposition rebuts immediately. And what his contribution should be, ought to be, must be confined to are the estimates laid by the prime minister. But no, this Lou, leader of the opposition, this Lou, I wonder if this is coincidence, because I think it may be appropriate. This Lou wants to determine when he speaks. Folks, this is something that happens around the Caribbean. It happens around the Caribbean. And it is so because you are confined to dealing with the estimates. But you see, because Shastney has an ulterior motive, because he wants to bring in all sorts of rigmarole into the estimates.
Unrelated.
That are totally unrelated, topics that are totally unrelated. He will lie in the unrelated topics, and he does not want his lies to be debunked. So others ask him, are you going to speak? I would not ask him anything, personally. I would not ask Shastney anything. Shastney is too damn rude and indiscreet and has no respect for our parliament. That's the only prime minister and leader of the opposition to have disrespected speaker after speaker after speaker, and he does it with impunity. Like nothing can happen to him. So he continues totally unabated. He operates as though he's unhinged and he can do as he pleases in our most august chamber. But tato Shasti, tato. So Ernest asked him if he wants to speak. He says no. But then he goes outside and he does a live. Now, tell me, is this a right-thinking person? Does this man have any kind of membrane within the confines of his head called a brain? Huh? Does he have that?
Well, what amuses me is how he started the live, outside.
Yeah, he started it by referring to topics that are totally unrelated.
He said he's awaiting his turn to speak. As he stands there, words to the effect that he's awaiting his turn to speak.
Nonsense. You leave the chamber, you go outside, and then you start talking about CIP. What CIP has to do with the estimates, and then talk about my ministry. What does that have to do with the estimates? So this is what he wanted to do. You had a chance to speak to millions of people from anywhere on this globe. But no, you will give up on that opportunity and go and give a life to try and appease your base. Because it's only those gullible 43%ers who would believe you and follow you.
I see them advocating for you, Have you not heard? They've been advocating for you and Ernest. That you all were not allowed the opportunity to speak. It has nothing to do with Shasta, It's the two of you. You all were not allowed the opportunity.
I could speak anytime I want. Diban flabokozoi. A disque. Make no excuses. Oh yeah. Somebody told me that because OPA didn't allow us to.
Yeah, you all were not allowed.
Those people are so, and they believe they can fool people with that crap. I will put it this way. I will never speak before Shasta. Never. Okay? Never. But I know we don't have long to go. Because he'll be kicked out again. And he won't stay. This time he won't stay. Trust me, when Flabo lose the elections, Shasta kakui. He can VA Canada. He will not stay here. Because all this man does, he wants to lie. And he wants to leave the lies hanging. You are living an opportunity where you can reach millions. In fact, I had to show it to you all. For the last 90 days, and Black Boy, get it for me because you're an administrator on my page. January 1st to March 31st, 4.8 million people I reached. My show reached 4.8 million in 90 days. You have the ability to do that. You would leave it and go and do a live to appeal to your base. You know, that's all the sense you have. And that's the thing. You would not speak to the estimates. You would be talking a lot of crap. And folks, you will not believe this. I went downstairs. Shasta saw me and shouts at me across the street. I'm in the parking lot. He's on a vehicle being driven. Richard, you're a coward. Shasta calls me a coward. Soundism. Shasta overhot. So, folks, let me get into my contribution to Parliament on the estimates. I started off by thanking the people of Castries Central, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank the people of Castries Central for once again giving me the opportunity to address them and others in this chamber. I do know the time is drawing near when I shall ask them to judge me by way of either acceptance or rejection. And I'm confident, Mr. Speaker, that based on my track record, based on what I've done, based on the way I've transformed Castries Central, that I would encounter no difficulty in being re-elected. But, Mr. Speaker, it is with great pleasure and almost an immeasurable degree of satisfaction satisfaction in relation to the resources of this 238 square mile rock, being utilized foremostly for the benefit of our people, thus resulting in glaring economic performance that is second to none. That leaves me, Mr. Speaker, with no option, in fact, a burning compunction, to support the motion that the report of the Finance Committee in the sum of $2.06 billion be adopted and be a charge on the consolidated fund. Mr. Speaker, there is absolutely no doubt, and there should be no doubt in anyone's mind, that the policies rolled out by this government are working. They are working, and the impact is being felt by all and sundry in this country. You see, Mr. Speaker, the sad reality, for the sake of demonstration of political loyalty, some people live in denial. They live in denial because they are of the view that if they were to make objective pronouncements, those pronouncements would invariably pin the government in good light, thus making the pathway to assumption of office doubly, if not triply, difficult. You remember, Mr. Speaker, the outrage that Champagne faced when he objectively applauded the Prime Minister for the work in Bagatelle. So, Mr. Speaker, even when things are good, they would criticize. But you see, Mr. Speaker, St. Lucia has of recent time been under greater global scrutiny for all good reasons as one of the best performing economies in the Caribbean. And I was surprisingly elucidated, Mr. Speaker. The Caribbean comprises of almost 7,000 islands within 26 countries, with St. Lucia, alongside Barbados and Antigua, earning the top spots on the list of Caribbean islands. Mr. Speaker, that cursory glance at our Helen of the West in a Caribbean and by extension global context brings into sharp focus the highly opinionated utterances, whether in our colloquially embraced patois, bagay mauvais a St. Lucie, or in the Queen's English, things are bad in St. Lucia. These utterances are simply not true. They fly in the face of reality. Reality that is depicted by data compilation meant to please some political narratives and that are diametrically opposed to the findings of international organizations equipped with the relevant expertise to keep a global watch on economic activity and report on such activity in relation to any or all countries around the world, not only St. Lucia. Mr. Speaker, their data is not confined to collection only in St. Lucia. They do so for all countries in the world. So when these renowned international organizations release their findings, it is not with any motive, not any motive of being nice to any sitting government or nice to any opposition. Their motive is simply to relay the facts. Facts based on the collection of empirical data. Facts that are supported by that data. Two of such organizations, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and Transparency International. Those are two renowned organizations. Mr. Speaker, for the financial year 2024-2025, the year under current review, I want us to listen to what the IMF said about St. Lucia using data compiled by themselves in the context of Caribbean countries. Could you play this clip? Let's listen, members.
The Caribbean is not just a paradise for sun seekers. It's a powerhouse of economic growth in 2024. While the world is uncertain, the Caribbean defies the odds, with several nations posting jaw-dropping growth rates and redefining their futures. From Guyana's oil-fueled boom to Grenada's tourism surge, these economies are thriving like never before. But what's driving this incredible momentum? In this video, let's dive into the 10 fastest growing Caribbean economies of 2024, backed by IMF data, to uncover the secrets behind their success. Whether it's renewable energy projects, booming tourism, or groundbreaking investments, these nations are setting the stage for a new era of Caribbean prosperity. Join us as we explore the trends, challenges, and opportunities shaping the region's economic future and discover the top 10 fastest growing Caribbean economies of 2024. So, where did we get the numbers? Data on the fastest growing Caribbean economies in 2024 comes from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The IMF has provided comprehensive economic analyses of many countries, including GDP growth projections, sectoral performance, and key investment trends. By leveraging this data, we can gain valuable insights into each country's economic growth rate and highlight what is driving this growth and the impact it will have on its future. So, without further ado, let's get started. We have St. Lucia with 3.9% GDP growth at number 9. St. Lucia is another Caribbean country that has seen remarkable growth in recent years. The country experienced robust economic growth in 2024, with its GDP expanding by 3.9% in 2025. This marked the fourth consecutive year of GDP growth since Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre took office in July 2021. Strong performances in the construction and tourism sectors primarily drove the country's economy. Tourism, in particular, showed significant recovery, with stayover arrivals surpassing 2019 levels by October 2024. The government's economic policies, including the MSME Loan Grant Facility, Youth Economy Agency, and Community Tourism Agency, supported local businesses and contributed to this growth. Additionally, St. Lucia attracted over $1.1 billion in foreign direct investment, and multiple government-backed public sector projects will inject over $600 million into the economy through 2026. The future is bright for the country, as the IMF predicts it will see great growth of 2.6% in 2025.
You're not hearing this, folks. Suzette, call him out. Did you hear this? Suzette, call him out. Did you hear this? Yes, Hippolyte. I know you're in the belly of the beast, but did you hear that? Teacher Fifi, Utanzakuma, Teacher Fifi. Julian Edward, good night. You know,
there's a man watching from South Sudan. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good night to him.
What's his name?
I can't remember, Pork or something, but he's watching from South Sudan. He knows himself.
Okay. The takeaways, Albert. 4 years, in fact, I'm addressing, I forget I'm speaking to the speaker. Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Speaker, the takeaways from this are 4 years of consecutive growth since Philip Joseph Pierre took over in 2021. Robust growth in 2024, with its GDP expanding by over 3%. And Mr. Speaker, for those who are unaware as to what GDP means, it means it's the gross domestic product, but it's the sum total of all goods and services sold and produced in this country. It has expanded. Tourism surpassed all numbers. Loan grant facility, youth economy, village tourism, as we heard. $1.1 billion in foreign direct investments. Now, folks, let us compare. No, Mr. Speaker, I'm there, folks. Mr. Speaker, let us compare that performance with the performance of the former administration. Here we have $1.1 billion of foreign direct investment, monies that come into the country. What did we have, Mr. Speaker, under the last administration? Ojo Labs came with absolutely nothing. We paid their bills, refurbished building, and paid their staff. Cabot came with absolutely nothing, Mr. Speaker. We took pensioners' money, lent it to them, now they're making millions. Then we have T.O. King, Mr. Speaker. They boasted about a $2.6 billion investment, but he came with absolutely nothing, and we gave him land at $1 an acre for 99 years. What we did not give him and sold to him, it was at a mere $3 a square foot. Then, Mr. Speaker, we have the range developers, who again came without a penny. But they came on a promise by the then Prime Minister that they would have been lent money at a very, very considerably low interest rate. When that did not pull through, Mr. Speaker, they left not before collecting some $32 million of taxpayers' money. And Mr. Speaker, you would realize that the clip ended by saying, the future looks bright for the country, and growth is again predicted this financial year. Mr. Speaker, why would anyone make such a statement, a daring statement, a bold statement, that the future of St. Lucia looks bright, if he was not confronted with the relevant data to substantiate this assertion, Mr. Speaker? St. Lucia is indeed in good hands. Mr. Speaker, we have experienced growth for 4 consecutive years of over 3%. Since 1992, 33 years ago, this country had never seen 3 years of consecutive growth of over 3%. This government, headed by the well-abled Philip J. Pierre, has broken that spell. It has presided over 4 years of economic growth and will see a 5th year of economic growth as predicted by the IMF. Compare that to what obtained under the last administration. Could you put up the growth chart for me, please? Look at this growth chart, Mr. Speaker. Say for 2019, there's an error on it. In 2019, it was negative 0.7. Negative 0.7. Now look at this, Mr. Speaker. The economy from 2018, in 2016, there was 3.4% growth. 2017, 3.4% growth, way before COVID. Way before COVID. And the economy started declining in 2018. We had gone down from 3.4 to 2.9. And we further declined, Mr. Speaker, from 2.9 to minus 0.7. COVID was nowhere around yet, Mr. Speaker. And in 2020, we experienced negative growth of 24.4%. That was the second largest in the world, Mr. Speaker. And I will say this, Mr. Speaker. There was no need for us to experience such huge negative growth. We may have had negative growth. It was COVID. But, Mr. Speaker, a small economy like ours, having borrowed in excess of $500 million in 2020, $500 million. We expected, Mr. Speaker, that money would have cushioned the economy. So COVID being used as an excuse cannot be acceptable, Mr. Speaker, because that $500 million borrowed in 2020 should have cushioned the impact of COVID. But, Mr. Speaker, that money was not spent wisely. Rather than using the money for income support to encourage and foster the circulation in the economy,
Which is what it was borrowed for.
Borrowed for. I'm coming to that. It's in there. Which is what it was borrowed for. Because don't forget, that's my speech.
Yes.
Rather than the money being used for income support, the money was used to encourage bloated contracts, Mr. Speaker, all of which were given directly, just direct awards. Exorbitantly priced roads, Mr. Speaker. Relocation of the abattoir. An abattoir that was built by the Taiwanese government, having expended $24 million. The desilting of the Roseau Dam, which has never been desilted. Over $50 million was spent, although less than 25% of the silt has been removed. All of this was done, Mr. Speaker, whilst persons were suffering. Whilst persons were suffering, Mr. Speaker. You remember the famous quote, Mr. Speaker? You all think people will give us money to give you all just so. You remember that, Albert?
Yes, can you imagine?
Who said that?
Was it some guy?
The guy.
The left guy?
The rejected guy. You all think people will give us...
The guy that you all want to give a bad injection.
But, by the way, I have something on that there. I have something in there on that. You know, the money was given to be injected into the economy.
Using that word injected.
Yeah.
Okay. You noticed you used the word injected.
Yeah, but not an injection, but not by a doctor. Yes. And you remember the famous quote, Mr. Speaker, you think you all will give people money to give you all just so. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, despite COVID hitting the entire world, St. Lucia contracted the most in the OECS, the most in the Caribbean, and the second most in the world, 24.4%. Mr. Speaker, that did not happen by accident. It happened through poor management of the country, extremely poor management. Mr. Speaker, talking about poor management. We all just heard, according to data from the IMF, investor confidence is indeed high in St. Lucia. And St. Lucia is poised to receive $1.1 billion in foreign direct investment. Those are people, Mr. Speaker, bringing in money to our country. Not persons coming with empty hands and taking what we have. As I said previously, Ojo Labs, Cabo, Tioa King, to name a few. Mr. Speaker, the last government under the captain of a leader who was extremely horrendous, I dare say useless and careless, Mr. Speaker, in his spending, St. Lucia was poised to fail. Because this clueless, economically void and lack of financial dexterity man, he engaged in giving away the little that we had. There was not one, Mr. Speaker. And I repeat, I have no fear of being contradicted accurately. I may be contradicted with fake and lies. But I repeat, there was not one foreign direct investor who came to St. Lucia during 2016 and 2021 and came with any money. They all, Mr. Speaker, they all came in with empty hands and relied on the stupidity and the economic void, the egregious financial deeds against the country of the then Prime Minister. In fact, Mr. Speaker, renowned economist Dr. Claudius Preville did an interview with the member for Miku North when he was Prime Minister. And he said he has never seen that kind. He told him he has never seen that kind of management. After that, Mr. Speaker, he went on to Radio 100. He went on to Radio 100 and did an interview and said in his lifetime, he has never seen that kind of leadership. He has never seen it across the Caribbean, in the OECS, across the Caribbean, or anywhere in the world, Mr. Speaker. He said this is not foreign direct investment. Let's take a listen to Dr. Claudius Preville as he was given an interview on Radio 100 speaking on the leadership of Alan Shastney, who was then Prime Minister.
The guest on Radio 100's What Makes You Mad took aim at the heart of the current United Workers' Party administration. Dr. Preville says the international and regional organizations such as the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank are concerned about the poor performance of St. Lucia's economy under the stewardship of Alan Shastney, even before the onset of COVID-19.
I am sure you would have also seen documents from the IMF, from the ECCB, essentially rebuking, I use the word rebuke, as far as a governor can go to rebuke a state, because you know the ECCB does not normally tell St. Lucia how to run its affairs. But when I read a report recently where ECCB actually said very openly, our economy is really in a mess and something has to really be, I was like, wow, because I have never seen a governor speak so strongly. And there's a reason for this, because the St. Lucian economy can sink the entire regional economy. We are the largest economy. So if we are performing so miserably, it can have a contagion effect on our Eastern Caribbean dollar, which has been strongly pegged to the US dollar at 2.7169, 2.62, buying and selling. But the point is that that itself is subject to, if we keep going the route we're going, that is subject to peril.
Dr. Preville questioned the economic model being pursued by the Alan Shastney-led administration. He dismissed it as incoherent and chaotic. He says the current administration's investment policy compares very unfavorably with the approach undertaken by Sir John Compton.
The perfect example of this was Fisher Hess. Fisher Hess came, he built the oil storage port in Cul-de-Sac and all the facilities going with it, provided some of the best levels of employment since I ever saw. It was so huge that he had to artificially bring down the wages to align with the rest of tourism and agriculture. Otherwise, there would be this huge disparity in incomes. On top of that, Compton's time, he got Hess to invest in schools like what? Leon Hess Secondary and other investments. That is a foreign investor. Okay? Today, what do we have? We have a government that proclaims Sir Arthur Lewis' invitation for investment and so on, and for development. But in reality, is that what's going on? Invitation, yes, but we, the people of St. Lucia, are the ones who are paying for the investment. I have never seen this model. In fact, I strongly question where this model came from. It does not exist anywhere in the world, that economic model of investing, bringing investors in, but the investors have no money. They come, they're two hands shaking. They don't make a balance. And they come into us to go to our treasuries for money, to go to the NIC for money. This is a bastardization of the meaning of foreign investment. I'm very sorry.
I like that one. A bastardization of the meaning of foreign direct investment. And I must say, Dr. Preville, you lead the cards right. So, Mr. Speaker, this is what obtained under the last administration. No investors, outvestors. The question is, St. Lucia has made a recovery. We have moved away from that, Mr. Speaker. Can we afford to go back? Can we afford to put our country back in the hands of men who gave the little that we have to foreigners and did not attract one direct investor? Mr. Speaker, we can't. We just can't. And so, Mr. Speaker, as the figures in the estimate show, the country is being managed prudently. Mr. Speaker, what does a primary surplus mean? And I heard the member from Swazel, The member from Swazel enunciated spurious reasoning from his vantage point, reasoning totally devoid of logic and bears no semblance of economic theory, but rather one that aligns perfectly with the political narrative. Mr. Speaker, primary surplus means that you have money left, having paid all your current debt and current interest. This does not happen fortuitously. It does not happen by chance, Mr. Speaker. It happens through proper management of the resources of this country, and we are indeed fortunate to have a leader in the person of, and please permit me, Mr. Speaker, Philip Joseph Pierre. And why I'm saying permit me, we don't normally call names. There's member for Castries Southeast. Philip Joseph Pierre, member for Castries East, to preside over the nation coffers. With him, our monies are safe. Mr. Speaker, one of the undocumented channels through which state resources are siphoned hundreds of millions of dollars is through corruption. So whilst our revenue will stabilize or remain a constant over the years, with probable increases, a more corrupt government would have less to show than a government that spends its resources on its people. Mr. Speaker, 2017 marks our most corrupt year in history when we scored 41 out of 100. We were ranked in the 70s out of 180 countries. Today, Mr. Speaker, we have made significant strides, and we are carrying a score of 59. Could you put that up, please? We are carrying a score of 59 out of 100, and we have moved from the 70s. We are now ranked at 38 out of 180 countries. Number one being the least corrupt country in the world, and Denmark, Finland, New Zealand, and Singapore are at number one, carrying scores of over 80 out of 100. And as they put it, the closer to the 100, the cleaner your country is in terms of corruption. The closer to zero, the more corrupt your country is. The most corrupt country being Sudan and Somalia, with scores of 8 and 9 respectively. The highest St. Lucia had ever scored, Mr. Speaker, was 71, when the member from Beaufort South and member for Castries North, that is Kenny Anthony and Stevenson King respectively, we were at 71 when they were the prime ministers. I am certain, based on how things are going, we can soon be back to the 70s and probably beyond. Let me pause here to explain this. Since 2023, we have begun going up. We took over in 2021. That's 2023 to 2024. We have gone up by 4 percentage points. When we took over, I think we were at 42 or 43 thereabout. We are now at 59, and we keep climbing, going closer to 100, folks. We will not reach 100 because no country in the world is devoid of corruption. None. But the highest are in the 80s. We have been in the 70s, and it was under Kenny Anthony and under Stevenson King. When Shastney took over, it plummeted to the lowest we have been. But since Philip J. Pierre took over, our scores are going up, and we have moved from the 70s. We are now ranked at 38. Let's see if we could get to at least number 10, but that would take a very good effort at almost erasing corruption totally. But we are doing well, Mr. Speaker. You can take it down. So, Mr. Speaker, this primary surplus has been achieved through a combination of policy rollout that cause money to be circulating in the economy, which invariably leads to greater collection of revenue by government. Though it is simple to understand, those with hard heads just will not. Let's look at a couple of examples, Mr. Speaker. The youth economy, the MSME loan grant program, and village tourism. Mr. Speaker, the one result of these initiatives, no one can doubt, is a fall in unemployment numbers. That cannot be doubted. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, our unemployment figures have fallen into single digits, just above 8%, the lowest ever in this country. Now, Mr. Speaker, with all this added employment, would those people not pay taxes? Would they not make contributions to NIC? Would they not pay VAT? And the inescapable result is that government will collect more revenue. So any government that stimulates the economy by injecting money into it will bolster economic activity, and the inescapable result is that those investments will cause government to collect more revenue. It is easy, Mr. Speaker, but like I said, if your head is hard, you will not understand. And that is why we once heard, you think we will give you all money just so. They did not understand that injection of money into the economy will create a greater spending pattern. A greater spending pattern will invariably result in greater revenue collection by government. So, Mr. Speaker, I will not say much on my ministry and would leave it to the policy debate, but there are a few things I want to touch on. Mr. Speaker, the repository of government assets around the island fall under the purview of local government as the relevant councils oversee the upkeep and operation. Mr. Speaker, I heard the member from Swazel speak to the failure to open the community and resource centers, and he made specific reference to one or two in Swazel. You would think by now, Mr. Speaker, members would know how government operates, but sadly, they pretend they don't and go out there, make noise, hoping to score cheap political points. Right, Pauline? Right, Pauline Antoine? Dr. Pauline Antoine? Mr. Speaker, upon completion of any resource center, and I would not even go into certified completion with no nagging issues, we inherited a mess. However, Mr. Speaker, it is only now, with this current estimates, allocations were made to ensure those buildings prior to the opening. Nupaka fe bagay tetaba. Nupaka fe bagay vaikivai. Mr. Speaker, during the time he was MP, he was a minister. The member of parliament for Swazel did absolutely nothing for the upkeep of the centers in Saltibus, Mongouge, and Swazel village, the Marcus Garvey Hall. But now, Mr. Speaker, he preaches that we should set aside the Belrose Doctrine. The Belrose Doctrine, by now, Mr. Speaker, we all know what it is. But he admits, Mr. Speaker, that he receives $100,000 a quarter, which equates to $400,000 a year. And over 3.5 years, based on his admission, he has received over $1.4 million minimum. Yet, Mr. Speaker, he refused to openly denounce the grave injustice, the extent of which that 6 members of the opposition were victimized by his government then, in particular when the member for Miku South was Prime Minister. Further, the member from Swazel Saltibus made an inaccurate assertion in relation to the Lafag playing field. It was the parliamentary secretary, Dr. Pauline Antoine, who was like a tick, extremely persistent, that the lights be restored. So, Mr. Speaker, the member for Swazel Saltibus needs to stop taking credit for his lazy and parasitic self on the efforts of others. Ou pa fe bagay la ou vle pou kweni pou li. C'est Dr. Pauline Antoine qui cause light vie à les fil la fag. Mr. Speaker, the last government was well known for stopping programs or curtailing the funding. Look at health, Mr. Speaker. The allocation to the Ministry of Health was reduced under the last administration. In these current estimates, the allocation of $206 million to the Ministry of Health is the most money ever allocated to this ministry since we were born. Mwen dit ça Creole. Les mam Mikou South, c'était premier ministre. Il baissait la ha qui ka ale Ministry of Health, mais yo tout ka ba santé. En bas Philippe J. Pierre l'année ça là, nous ni 206 millions de dollars qui ka ale pour Ministry of Health. Ça c'est plus l'argent yo jamais by Ministry of Health depuis cette ici connaît quoi. Yet they are the ones, Mr. Speaker, who talk about righting the wrongs. Which wrong, Mr. Speaker? Which wrong? A man died on the floor, and we heard the Prime Minister then. I don't say it's right. I don't say it's wrong. In a kind of flippant, unapologetic attitude. When that was said, Mr. Speaker, a certain doctor who was out of convenience, now gone silent, came and justified those comments by the then Prime Minister. I have not heard a word from that doctor, Mr. Speaker. When a man fetching desperately for his political revival would denounce and cast aspersions on the efforts of our good, hard-working doctors and nurses. That's what they do. I've not heard from that doctor, Mr. Speaker. He claimed that he can get a wrong injection from them, and so he flies away for his treatment. That is what they do. Sideline our locals, Mr. Speaker. Our local talent is no business of theirs. The same happened, Mr. Speaker, for the first 3 years in preparation of the estimates under them. $50 million later, after they gave it to Ernst & Young, Mr. Speaker, it was only then they resorted to the very civil servants that they had discarded from the onset of the occupation of office. But you see, Mr. Speaker, that is what it is. Our people do matter to them. Between 2011 and 2016, under a Labour Party government, about $2 million was always allocated for school repair. At the time, Mr. Speaker, Ministry of Infrastructure was then equipped with all the expertise to effect repairs and was given the allocation. From 2016, they reduced the allocation from 2 million to 800,000, and they shifted the allocation from Ministry of Infrastructure to Ministry of Education. The then minister was Gail Rigobert, Mr. Speaker. And it caused the reduction in the allocation, caused a dilapidation in school structures until parents had to demonstrate, Mr. Speaker. What was Shasney's response? An allocation of 30 million was given to the then minister, who was busy awarding contracts to brothers, uncles, families, and friends. Nothing to do with expertise. In their haste, Mr. Speaker, a lot of shoddy work was done. Shoddy work that resulted in a water tank in Monrepo that stood on a stand, falling and injuring at least one person. Today, Mr. Speaker, this government will not wait until things fall apart. But the government has allocated $2.1 million for refurbishment of school plans. With those few words, Mr. Speaker, I wholeheartedly, unconditionally, and with utmost satisfaction must be compelled, feel the compunction to support the estimates of expenditure as a charge on the consolidated fund.
Or is it not?
That's okay?
Isn't that?
How was it, Albert?
That was fantastic.
It was good?
It was, yes, indeed.
Well, take over for a couple of minutes. Critique me.
I think there's something I have to say, and I'm actually borrowing from Terence Fenelon. Good night, my brother, Terence Fenelon. And he said, Richard, that whilst Alan Shastney, I mean, he was basically, Santa Claus with our funds. But whilst he was refurbishing and retrofitting the shells down there for Ojo Labs, at the same time, this man was saying to I think it was Miku School, where the toilets had been damaged and so on. And he said, look, I just fixed those toilets last year, right? And if the parents cannot come in and fix the toilets, he's not fixing them.
Yeah. And they demonstrated.
Can you imagine? And in the meantime, you're retrofitting
for Ojo Labs. But whilst you retrofit for Ojo Labs, you spend $5 million on retrofitting. You're having balls for the police.
Yes, balls.
Balls.
So that the police can get an air conditioning unit here. A fridge there. A cupboard over there. Boy. This man did. And can you imagine? This man is actually out there, Richard, telling St. Lucians to vote for him again. Bring him back. The last time I was here, I don't think I punished you all enough. So, and you all seem to have liked it, so come, bring me back in. I will now show you all, if this man gets back in. Anyway, figure that.
That is a probability that is nowhere in existence. I don't think Shasti. Anthony Mondesi said, great contribution. Thea Joseph, good night to you. Uris, good night. Apache, special good night. Peter Wren over in Canada, good night to you. Anson Maxwell in New York, good night. Kello, good night to you. Well, let's open the lines and take some calls, Albert.
Yes, by all means.
There is something else you want to add?
No, let's open the lines.
Okay, 4533911 is our number here. We'll take a few calls up to about 11 o'clock. Let's just hear how you feel about, Maria Bonaparte. Maria Bonaparte says, Mr. Speaker, if one of those men in the opposition, if their testicles start doing them, they run to this. Julian Charles, good night to you. Keisha Edwin, good night, Keisha, good night. Keisha, we had to talk, We have to talk. Okay, we have a caller. Good night, can I help you? Hello?
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Yes,
good night, RF.
Yeah, good night.
And Albert.
Good night.
Good night, Becky.
Wonderful contribution.
Thank you.
Richard. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
That's not Becky.
Rain God's blessings on you.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm inviting everybody to come down to Library for the opening of the market this coming Sunday.
Oh, yeah. It's the opening of the market.
Invite the whole crew, invite everybody.
Oh, yes, folks, it's the opening of the Library market.
Yeah, they thought it would not have happened, but thankfully, yes, it has come to fruition. So we're inviting the whole public, everybody to come down to Library. Library will have a vibe this Sunday.
There'll be roast.
Okay, have a good night,
fish.
guys. Get home safely.
There'll be roast fish.
I don't think you heard you. All right, let me say good night to Mahani Oje. Good night to you, Pizza Hallow. Good night. Vernon Kazabo, good night to you. Are the callers hearing us? Black boy. Good night. Can I help you? Hello. I don't think they're hearing us. You know.
Davis Hippolyte, good night. Davis said he's
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello. I'm hearing you.
Okay. I have been watching the programs and I'm seeing a lot of malfeasance that was being done by previous administration. But I'm just hearing they do this, they did that, but I'm not hearing any accountability. Government rep or the district reps, are they immune from liabilities for the things that they do?
They are not.
Thank you.
They are not. Let me just say, Kola, it's a good question that you asked, and that is why the government appointed a special prosecutor specifically for that purpose. It is not within the purview of any of the members of government to go and do anything, but to give the authority to the relevant experts to conduct investigations and to make recommendations for prosecution where they deem it necessary. So we have done what we had to do. We have delivered on the promise that we made to the electorate. We appointed a special prosecutor. We gave the special prosecutor the substantive legislation to give him the authority to act. And therefore, that is what we can do as a government. The rest is up to the special prosecutor to do what he has to do. We have another caller. Good night. Can I help you?
Good night.
Good night.
Hello?
Hello?
Good night. Is that the Richard Show?
Yes, yes. Can I help you?
Yeah, okay. Mr. Richard, am I on?
Yeah, you're live.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Let me tell you, I have a situation with Dominic Fady, and I'll tell you what. I remember speaking to you. My name is Cyril. I remember speaking with you concerning the West Coast Road. And I told you how it was in a deplorable state when the Labour Party had assumed, the responsibility of the country, meaning that the Labour Party got in power. And I've spoken to you personally twice about the road, and you told me that Cyril, rest assured, there is some $68 million to address that situation of the road. So they're going to build it from somewhere down in cul-de-sac and going all the way to Soufrière.
That's correct.
I was so upset when I heard that Dominic Fady saying that they are the ones who negotiated for the fixing of the roads. I can't believe it.
I'll tell you.
I almost vomited because I just could not believe how this man lies. How can he make a statement like that, which I know for sure that this is not true? If he had negotiated that and that was in their pipeline, they would have bring some graders, bring some tractors, bring some whatsoever just to put by the roadside because that's the way they operate. Yes. I was so upset when I get to know that this man is saying that, lying to the people of ancillary canneries and the people of St. Lucia, to say that he is the one who negotiated to fix the road. I mean, I could not believe it.
Well, you see, let me tell you, caller, anything that happens in this country, anything, they said that the building we put up where the marketing board was Shastney's idea. Somebody said it was John Compton's idea. But at the end of the day, I don't care whose idea it is or was, is the execution. Because I was burdened with all the problems to have this thing executed. A number of ministers had to put their heads together, but you know, the job of removing the vendors, replacing them, doing this, doing that, building something for the fishermen to get them out of where they were. A lot of problems. But yet, they say it was their idea. So anything good that happens, they say it's their idea. I just tell them bravo. It's like as a politician, caller. Once you win election, everybody make you win election apart from yourself. Once you win an election, everybody voted for you.
That's true.
That's a fact. So some of those things now, I just, okay, yes. But the question you have to ask, you all negotiated this, you all negotiated that. Why didn't you all execute it?
True.
As easy as that.
True.
Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
And rest assured, we will win the next elections and we will complete that road and we will have a very nice East Coast road for our people and our visitors.
There is no question about that. I mean, we St. Lucians know that Alan Chastney is not going to sit there, not one bit. He is not going to sit there. I will put my stamp on it that he is not going to sit there. And we all know that. The people, listen, Richard, that's the first time I've heard the people of St. Lucia defend the Prime Minister, the government. Richard, the Prime Minister is loved by nearly, I would say, about 70% of the country.
More than that.
You don't come and speak bad about this man to people. People take you on. People take you on. You know, a guy came in the credit union, was in the credit union, and started taking on. And let me tell you, on the line there, people just take on me, and tell me, what you talking about? This nonsense you're talking about. Chasnete la pas fait rien. Abouza nous ni mouka faire bagay. Ou ka vini parler about that. They just tell me, just a fella. Imagine a man tell him before he get vexed and take him off the line. Just keep quiet. The man had to just keep quiet and let people talk. Yes. That's to show you how serious people are taking that.
Very well. All right,
thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, but you see, Albert Philip will always be popular. He didn't call anybody jackasses or backing dogs or pigs and dogs. And
he doesn't try to rule over anybody.
He don't rule over anybody. He's not a dictator. No. He understands. Philip is a democratic leader. He seeks ideas. He embraces the ideas, even if the final decision is his. He's an all-embracing leader who takes accord and who takes on board the desires and the views of others before that, and he injects it into his final decision.
Before you take that call, I don't know if I can actually plug another radio station or whatever, but anyway, Comrade Fenelon, Terence Fenelon.
Oh yes.
He has a show starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Right.
On Rev Up.
Yes.
Which one is Rev Up?
Rev Up FM 97.1.
Who's that?
From 9 to 10 a.m.
Andre Paul. Hey, boy, you go in the Lion's Den, comrade, but I know you can handle yourself. Let's say good night to you again. Terence Fenelon, good night. Melin Samuel. Rachel Cassius, good night to you. Mervyn Rosary, good night. So yes, Andre Paul, Fenelon can handle himself. We have a caller. Good night. Can I help you?
Good night, comrades.
Good night,
St. Lucia.
Good night, comrade.
Comrade, I must compliment you on your delivery.
You know who that is.
But tonight, I want you to permit me to send a message to Guy Joseph.
Hang on.
To tell Guy Joseph that he's got to wait a long time before he can advise St. Lucians to ask Philip J. Pierre to call elections so that he's done. Because I do not believe that Chastney is walking out of the parliament just so. I don't think Chastney can handle the budget that we have. But today, last night I heard in the news where Guy Joseph is recommending that we try to get Chastney in so that he can go and speak with Trump on the problems that we have. I must say to him that if Trump wants advice, he can come to Philip J. Pierre, he can come to you, he can come to the entire Labour Party. But Guy Joseph, let me say something to you. Stay in your zone. stay in your line. You have no right. You do not have, I'm going to say it tonight, you don't have no right to advise labor people and solutions as to what to do in the next elections. I think you better go and rest and keep your advice for yourself. Have a blessed night, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Gerard Polius, good night. You know, and that's what those guys do. He will go and speak to Trump.
That's a kind of nonsense. I heard, was it Dominic Fady talking about, anyway.
You know?
Talking about a lot of nonsense.
Good night, can I help you?
Good night, good night. I'd like to speak to Richard and...
Yeah, go ahead, you're on.
Good night.
Yes, you're on. Who's that, Keith?
Yeah, that's Keith.
Keith Mondesi?
Yes.
Your TV, bring down the volume of your television, Keith.
That's Keith, yeah.
Yeah, bring down the volume of your TV or radio.
Yeah, everything is off.
All right.
Richard?
Yes.
I must congratulate you, as usual.
Give him some volume here for me.
Well explained, up, as usual. Whether you're on this side or next side, you're still good. You're always good. But what I liked, because I did not listen to your speech, during Parliament. But Guy is asking the question, where will the government get the extra funds? Because there's so many $1 million on the budget. He comparing budgets of a few years back. But he does not realize that the extra money, because the taxpayers have to pay taxes, the extra money, as you explained, it comes from one, taxes from people, but two, the employment rate has never gone down to 8%.
Right, the unemployment rate.
Kind of numbers you're hearing. So more people are working.
That's good.
More money is in circulation.
That's
and
correct.
Tonight I hear him asking that same question, and you did explain to it, during the budget speech. Yes. So I'm happy that you because I was saying, but how could you tell me you know how to spend $1 and how to make $1? But you don't know the more business you have, the more dollars you're going to have.
That's good.
So I'm very happy you explained that. But as usual, thumbs up.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. But folks, it's easy. It's easy. Government rolls out, let us say, hypothetically, $20 million. You give 1,000 individuals $20,000 each, okay, to start business. Each of them employ 4 people. Let me tell you.
That's money circulating.
Exactly. It's circulating. Each of them employ 4 people. 1,000, that's 4,000 people. 4,000 people pay taxes, they pay VAT. So whatever government spends in terms of an investment, it recovers it by way of paying. And it's simple, so that at the end of the day, its revenue intake will increase as the unemployment level lowers. But they wouldn't understand that. You think we are money to just give you all. We have a call on the line. Good night, can I help you?
Good night, Mr. Richard.
Good night to you.
Good night, Mr. Albert.
Good night, sir.
Mr. Richard.
Yay.
You know what I really want you to do, the 3 of you? Mr. Philip Pierre, Mr. Philip Joseph Pierre, Santa Pierre, Mr. Ernest Hille, and you.
Yes.
Remember the song Chuck does have, Daddy Show Me the Way to Be a Politician?
Yeah.
I want you to open up a school, and you as the head teacher, to teach Guy Joseph, Dominic Fede, Shasne, they men about politics.
Yes.
Because they men know nothing about politics.
Yes.
You are not there for Central Castries. You are there for the people of St. Lucia.
Thank you.
Because you built that place in the marketing board, and that is not for Central Castries people alone.
That's correct.
That is for St. Lucia.
Yes.
And I always tell you, you could go to Dominica, you could go to Grenada, you could go to anywhere at the OECS and run politics, and you will win the prime minister leadership. Right? So don't mind none of them fellas say. Just keep your cool. What you're doing the right thing, because Shasta is trying to attack you to get you aggravated.
No, that would happen.
That the public will see, because you touch on your shoulder in the courthouse.
Yes.
And you hold your temper.
Yes.
Just be faithful. Labour is on the right track. I am happy. And you know who's speaking to you there?
Of course.
All right, right now I'm a happy.
You can tell people. You can tell them who you are. You know.
You have nothing in life.
Tell them who you are.
I am Colonel Lionel Elias Boussol.
Very well.
Right, the Prime Minister right now, sent up here. They sent up here. Them fellas don't know how to run a country. And Mr. Pierre know how to run St. Lucian. Everybody is happy in this country.
Thank you.
So have no fear because they give you their name, but they don't know you that send milk in their eye. Because one also Dominic 6. All right, so be patient and be cool. I wish you all the best in life. Even though I'm not from Central Country, but you know I'm always rallying with you.
I know that. And that's why I had you to speak.
Mr. Pierre, no matter where I go, I'm living in Pabano, and I'm still voting with George Charles Boulevard.
All right.
So have a blessed day, a blessed night. You and Mr. Regis.
Yes.
Take good care of yourself, and God bless you and your family. And don't trust no one into your home. Because I don't have swimming pool, I don't have nothing, and I don't trust nobody into my home. I meet my friends in the ghetto, we smoke in the ghetto, we drink in the ghetto. My home is my privacy for me and my family.
That's correct.
Have a blessed night.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, folks, this scholar Boussol is really, spent a lot of time in prison.
An inspiration. He's
an inspiration.
Really.
He's a story to be told.
Yes.
I had him to speak to the young guys. This man was on death row,
I know all about him.
Was on death
row. CID.
Yeah, death row came out of that and now can now speak to young people and tell young people that's not the way to go. I have been there, I've done that. Every day I get up, Lord, I didn't know if this day would have been my last day. And I prayed, and now he lives a very productive, crime-free life.
I'm so happy for him.
I'm
really.
happy for him.
Yes.
Hats off to him. We have a call. I know you've been holding on. Good night. Can I help you? Good night. Can I help you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Richard.
Hey.
Good night to you and your guests.
Good night. Good night.
Richard, nice program. Good program as usual.
Thank you.
Richard, one thing I want to point out. We keep speaking about the 43%ers, but the 43%ers vote. And these 43%ers also listen to all the nonsense going on and all the gibberish and nonsense that are being spoken by Guy Joseph and his cohort.
Yes.
The government needs to have a better PR. The government needs to present these things. And I heard Keith Mondays here also, and you endorsing it, talking about the spin-off effect of employment and money.
That's correct.
Right? But very few people understand that. So when you have people like Guy Joseph or these people going around and trying and question these things, a lot of people would believe them.
You're right.
And I think it is important that the government, through a more effective PSA, a more effective communication system, could actually reach these 43%ers, to get these 43%ers and others to really appreciate and understand how these things work. Because we cannot dismiss that, right? It is there, and there are people who will believe, and there are a lot of believers who would believe all of the nonsense. But the government must be on the offensive. It cannot be only Richard Frederick and Yadi and company. It cannot just be, and Sundem Sheldon. It cannot just be these three parties. The government must have an organized response and communication system to reach these people.
Thank you very, very much. I think this is a very, very, very good point, because basically, the analysis that I just made, Albert, in pumping money into the economy and then supporting all those programs that help foster employment and help reduce your unemployment. Once that is done effectively, it causes your tax base to widen, and invariably the collection of revenue would be increased.
Essentially, there's a ripple effect.
A ripple effect. And what he's saying is right now. Bradley try and counter that by saying it is the imposition of taxes by the government which results in the collection of more revenue. But he said absolutely nothing about the reduction in unemployment and having more people employed, thus increasing your collection base. We have a caller on the line. Good night, can I help you? Good night, can I help you?
Yes, good night, good night.
Good night.
Good night, Brother Richard, how are you doing?
I'm blessed, I'm good, thank God.
Good night, Brother Regis.
Yeah, good night, Frederick even.
Yes, I just want to first of all apologize to Brother Regis for blocking his entrance by Western Union. I parked my van there and I kind of blocked off his entrance, and he came out like a raging bull. You know, so, and I checked myself. I say, it's me. I didn't call him by his name. I said, it's me. I move in the van now. Man, you can't park that one. And he said that. I said, yes, my brother, but I'm taking it out. So I want to apologize to him for blocking his entrance by Western Union there. What day it was? I don't know if you could remember that.
I remember. It wasn't one day. That was a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
On another note, I'm very pleased to hear about the unemployment rate, reaching single digits and so on. That's very good.
Aaron, that's you there.
It's Aaron.
Yeah. I think also we could the unemployment rate. I'm always of the view that you see the agricultural sector. The agricultural sector have the capacity to absorb a lot of our people in terms of creating employment for them. And I just await the day to hear the government say, the 1,000 acres they give to you working down in Beaufort, 1,000 acres, they're giving that 1 acre to every farmer, get some young people involved in farming, and assign an acre to them. And in turn, each of these farmers now can employ 3 or 4 persons with them to work, in the agricultural sector with machines, tillers and equipment, make the farms a little more mechanized. And that itself would put an even greater serious dent in the unemployment situation in St. Lucia and bring that 8% maybe all the way down to 5%, Richard. So I just awaiting the day when I could hear the government announce that, and that would be my hallelujah, Holy Ghost, Hail Mary. Thank you, Richard, brother.
Boy, let me tell you, Aaron, you couldn't have said it better. But I would not give 1,000 people 1 acre. 1 acre may not be adequate to give them the kind of boost that you want. I would take that 1,000 acres, okay? I would take 250 people and give them 4-acre plots. I would capitalize a credit union.
Right.
And it's just like if I had my way. I would have built a single mother's credit union, employ 100 mothers from every constituency. The money we're giving to foreigners, let them work from 7:30 to 12:30, $1,000 a month for your 5 hours work. Capitalize a credit union, let the credit union give them small loans, $20,000, $25,000 to build their houses, identify land, I would eradicate homelessness. And you see the thing with the farmers, I would take 250 persons, capitalize a credit union, use and give them the first injection. I could tell you, when you turn back in the next 15, 20 years, we have a cadre of millionaires in this country.
Oh, yes. And we could feed ourselves to Richard.
We'll be self-sufficient, and even the abattoir, I would ask some of them to go into animals. So we'll be stopping the importation of beef, chicken, mutton, everything. We're going local, and I'm sure St. Lucia will be the beacon by which all those surrounding countries will take
we would feed the Caribbean.
But Richard,
yes,
you will remember. Aaron, just don't go. Remember what Shastney said about those lands, that they've just been there useless for years. That's what he said. In the meantime, there were, and I know that there were
persons,
farmers, animals.
Of course.
Yes, there were farmers there.
Of course, but what I would have done, Aaron, I would have legitimized their occupation and give them title. So you have 254-acre farms, that's 1,000 acres. Okay? And you ask them, you make it mandatory, those that are going to, so you don't have basically a heavy concentration of one crop and
That's
very
right.
little of another. So you
That's
have some
right.
to go into poultry, some going to goats, sheep, whatever. Then vegetables, bananas, plantains,
Yes, my
and
brother.
you have a diversity of
Yes,
produce.
my brother. Tomatoes, you know, and so
You have your greenhouses down there.
Greenhouses, yeah.
And so you see, like right now, there's a glut on the market for tomatoes right now. And then come the time when you can't find one tomato.
So that's correct. And trust me, Devontae, good night to you. If I had the mantles of Soul Authority when Shasta did that mash there, bro, I would have done that differently, empower people, capital. What is it? Why can't we can tell Sandals take 24 million? Okay? We can give 32 million to Permandu. We can give 50 million to Ernst & Young. We cannot take take $125 million, or let us say you give each farmer $250,000 to start off. Take some money and try to empower our people.
So why do you think that the economy is doing so well now?
Because of the policies rolled out.
Because there is no Ernst & Young for 52. There is no Permandu for 13.
Right.
There is no Sandals for 24. There is no, what's your favorite fella's name?
Which one?
Lockaby.
There's no
42.
for 32.
Right? There is no Rock Hard Cement.
Rock Hard Cement. There is no Cayman Group for 25.
There's no Cayman Group.
25.
Right? So all of that money which should have gone to those guys.
Exactly.
It is
It's
right
there.
there
And
being managed judiciously.
That is why I tell you, Philip is not picking money from the air. He's managing the resources much better. You
That's
know?
all that's happening.
But if Shasta had done that, take that land, give it to our people, capitalize some kind of trade union or credit union, Southern Farmers Credit Union, put in the first capital of $2 million and let people undergo. Let me tell you, you would have had in the next 20 years a cadre of millionaires.
Of course, yes.
And I'm telling you, the youth economy, just now, you will see some young millionaires in this country that came up through the youth economy.
Richard, listen, you know what they call a Quevche? To see that same land we're talking about there, it is now idle. The same idle you are talking about, Alan Chasta. You are saying that land was idle. It is now idle. Right? It is just there right now, and it belongs to a man out there. You gave it to him. Indeed. Vagabond.
You were saying,
Richard, let me ask you quickly. Are you all following what is happening in countries like Burkina Faso?
No, what's happening there? Rearrange my ignorance.
In terms of, Burkina Faso is one of the countries in Africa that is now taking over their lands. There was a coup where the guys overthrew a puppet government that was loyal to France. And the president now is the youngest president in Africa. I think he's 37 years old, Ibrahim Traore. And the guy just bought about 450 tractors to plow the land in Burkina Faso. Now they're growing rice. They're growing so many things. You open a ketchup factory. They're producing so much tomatoes now. So it's like agriculture is now becoming the backbone of the economy of that country, Burkina Faso, where they're now self-sufficient in so many things that they have cut their food import bills so significant now. They have so much savings right now that they have paid off all their debts and all kind of thing like that. So I'm saying all that to say again, with agriculture, there's so much can be done with the land down in Beaufort there, and it's like an oasis just waiting to be explored so we can give more empowerment to our people, and especially through the Ministry of Agriculture to start mechanizing the farms so young people can be more interested in agriculture, because young people never go and use forks and hoes and
what you mechanizing? It's
equipment.
greenhouses and stuff like that you need now.
Say again?
Greenhouses, so that you could mass produce in a small area.
All them things too, very important.
Yeah, man.
But let me not keep you all too long, but thanks for the engagement. And I'm really looking forward to the day to hear the announcement from the government concerning those lands down there to empower our people, especially our farmers, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't place me under arrest at my office again.
No, I go back there again at all.
I must say, that was a very, very good contribution. I went to a place in Guyana, a fishing place, and they had endless lands. The guys built fish ponds, and it's amazing. They have fish ponds, and Albert, they add value right there and then. If you want fresh fish, you get it. Salted fish, you get it. Fish packaged, you get it. Frozen, you get it. Salted, you get it. And they do a lot of exportation. Let me tell you something. The guys are making millions in a small area. And it's, you know that thing about Ailame?
No.
They have about 40 ponds. Red snapper, white snapper, blue snapper, tuna,
Okay.
doa.
They farm in the sea.
They bring in ponds, large ponds.
Okay.
But they take water from the sea. The freshwater fish, they have freshwater.
Okay.
Seawater, they have seawater. Let me tell you, amazing.
Yes.
In Guyana, amazing. When the president invited me, they took me around and they add value. And all of those things we can do here.
The Taiwanese do that, you know.
Yeah, the Taiwanese as well.
Yeah.
They have people doing it with shrimps and stuff. But I'm saying that it should not be limited to shrimps alone. You can do it for almost any.
I'm saying not just shrimp. The Taiwanese do that.
Yes. Okay, we have a caller. That person has been waiting. Good night. Can I help you?
Good night.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
You have your TV or your radio on. If you don't turn it off, we'll have to cut you short.
Okay.
Sorry.
You can hear me now, right?
Yes, we can.
I'm saying, right, I was listening to the debate and then Shastny gave for a whole year could give the health service, he's talking about the health of the nation. When he can give 31 million to a whole budget for health of the country, right, for a year. When he can give Lockerbie $32 million to go and plant artificial grass. And then they will quarrel now that the health of the nation is in jeopardy and all sorts of things that even Guy Joseph will say that he don't want to stay in St. Lucia to take an injection now. What did he do to the health of the people, for the health of the people? What did he do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Right? You didn't do anything, and now you want to come and complain. You take a whole budget and you give a whole year, you give 31 million to the health of the people, and you give Lockerbie to go and plant grass, 32 million?
He gave Lockerbie 32 million. He gave...
And then you want to go and complain now you don't want to take injection from the people, from the nurses and the doctors. They are not competent. The health sector is dangerous and all things like that. When you are the dangerous, wicked person that did care about the health of the people, you did it. You put our people last. You did it. You took Cayman Island, Cayman to come and do
25 million Caymans.
You gave them how much millions? Why you didn't give it to the health? Pay the debt. You did not pay no debt. No Martinique, you don't pay nothing. Nothing. You leave all the debts open. Open, you don't do nothing. You don't pay debt. You only giving away our money and you're not paying debt. Putting debts on the country, putting debts on the country. And you saying that you was helping, what you was doing, and you want to come back here? When that man come in, tell that man stay in this section. Because he cannot come to our country to rule, to do anything. Because he don't know how to do it. Let the people that can manage the economy work for the people and to manage. Because he can't.
Thank you.
Right.
Richard, but the SLMDA is not known to be so reticent.
No, they can't be if the voices are muted by the utterances of persons with whom they rub shoulders.
So who's saying what?
Exactly.
Okay.
Let me just give you an example of that. So one time I was saying to a certain man in town, you know, some people, if they live in the CDC, you expect noise levels probably beyond your degree or your level of tolerance. Well, that's true. The people in them CDCs, they have to expect people will make noise, drivers will tune their horns, blah, blah, blah. So then I tell him, you know what's complaining, your mother and father? Well, the people all already. You know,
Yes, indeed.
so a lot of times it all depends on who the players are.
That's right.
That my comment would be worthy of.
Because just a few months ago, they wanted to roast you and toast you.
Exactly, because I spoke about Ezilev, never referring to any specific person.
Yeah.
They came on top of me, but today there is a blatant and conspicuous silence.
Now, you might have noticed, Richard, when that was happening, I kept silent myself,
Yes.
right? Because I adopted the posture of the Prime Minister. I ain't looking for trouble with them people. But today, those same people who were out there with their flewy looking for you,
Yeah.
today, Guy Joseph can say what he said, which is quite egregious.
Yes, of course it is.
Right? It's egregious what he said. And you're silent.
Yes.
You're silent. Come on now.
Where is
if you all wanted to roast Richard, and mind you, if you all were roasting Richard, I might have said to Richard, take your licks.
Take your
licks.
roasting.
Okay? But you cannot want to roast Richard just a few months ago. And to Guy Joseph has said what he said there. And you all are silent? Come on, man.
Hypocrisy. We have
Hypocrisy.
a caller. We have a caller. Good night. Can I help you? Okay. Okay, I'll say the final. That's one before the final. The guy said up to 11 and we passed 11, so we'll take one more after that. Good night. Can I help you?
Hey, good night. How you doing?
I'm not too bad.
Okay, good.
Yes, Mr. James.
Harris, I have listened to the utterances of this guy, Joseph and Aaron Shastley. And I am of the view that you see, come the next election, this is what I fool of. You are pretty fool, but you are fool. You remember in 2010, there was a drought. I think you were in government, UW was in government at the time. There was a drought in 2010. So Mr. was Prime Minister. Remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, in 2010.
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, there was a drought in 2010. And this Minister of Government, I believe, at that time they said he became rich all of a sudden and bought a big parcel of land in Canada. Right?
Yes.
Has that ever been investigated? Because there was a certain gentleman from the valley called Rankin. The parcel of land that he bought was just vis-a-vis Rankin's land. And this young man...
I'm aware of that. I'm aware.
This Rankin fellow, he passed away, so he was aware of all the transaction. But what is particularly interesting was that, according to what he said, that there was a certain amount of money received on behalf of the government that never reached St. Lucia. All right? And that money was used to purchase a personal land in Canada. But Stephen Julian was
you don't have to go that far. When Guy Joseph can write a letter soliciting loans from institutions of any repute, and they are emailing him directly about monies, and in the letter he undertakes to pay whoever brokers the deal a commission.
Yeah.
What do you expect? When, for the very first time, we have $2.something million being paid as a commission on a loan that the two parties had previous engagements in. Almost $3 million in commission on a loan.
On a loan.
I mean, that is unprecedented.
And
it was paid by the Treasury.
That is a crime by itself.
So, bro, there's a lot, but I think our people are getting wiser, and those people that are responsible for those financial onslaughts on our treasury, I don't think the day will come when the Almighty, through his people, would ever put those guys back in a position where they have authority over the coffers of this country.
Indeed. But you know, the funny thought about it again, Shastley is so conniving. Shastley forgot that he was ever Prime Minister of this country. And then on the other side of the coin, he believes like he's still the Prime Minister of the country.
Yeah, he believes he still is.
Understand? So
Anyway.
he acts in two kind of ways. So
Yeah.
whichever way he acts, or whichever way he feels he can say what he wants, do what he wants, it doesn't matter to him.
He
because
believes he's a
what he is.
dictator.
He's just that kind of person.
Yes, he
and,
is.
And you have to write on Dominic Fede want to take on the government, you know, as if the surplus that the government has, as if that's a lie, it's a fallacy, blah blah blah. You know,
Man,
I mean,
you know what?
that local government have never touched what you call a surplus in a lifetime.
At all, never. Everywhere had COVID. Everywhere in the world, yet our economy contracted the second worst in the world after having borrowed $500 million. Let
me tell you something. Yeah? Last election.
All right, make your final thing.
My last point. Last election, when Alan Jasny lost that election, in a particular room, in a particular setting, he cursed up Nancy Charles and Guy Jones and all the others for losing the election. He was going on like a rabid dog with rabies that they had to take him to Canada to go see psychiatry, to go get psychiatric help. He stayed away for almost 110 days.
This time he might have to be a permanent resident of that place.
A permanent resident, sir?
No, he'll be a permanent resident of that institution. Anyway, good night.
Okay.
We need to take a final call.
Okay, take care.
All right. We'll take one more call. Black Boy has indicated that was the last one, but since he didn't tell me, I'm taking the liberty to have you our final caller. Good night. Can I help you?
Yeah, man. Good night, Frederick. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah, that's George.
Hey, what's up?
Right, I did.
Good.
I blame the media, certain media personnel for what is happening to an extent. Hear this, Frederick. When Alan Shastney, Guy Joseph, and Dominic Fade and these fellas come and make a statement, listen to me carefully, without no evidence, without no kind of proof. Some of the media houses are taking that and running that and make it headline news. They're even telling you on the news that Dominic Fade is saying something without no evidence. So why you still continue to make it news, headline news? You understand? So either some of these media people have been paid.
You mean they are disseminating information that is not accurate,
or they cannot do their job. My point is that, Richard Frederick,
there are some good media personnel, though.
I need to ask Alan Shastney questions, but I cannot reach close to him. Yeah. Why, when Shastney come in and tell you all about the CIP, you all don't ask him this question? Why he saw it was reasonable to interfere in the CIP in the first place to bring down the price, and what he did to
exactly.
When
it was 300,000, he brought it down to 100,000.
Right. They should ask him this question: why you gave Hakim our passport to sell and open an escrow account overseas, and he himself as a prime minister have no access to that account? These are the questions I want you all media people to ask Alan Shastney. Yes. Alan Shastney can say anything, and you're just running the shit without no background checking. My last point. You remember the day when Shastney came and said the government sell constitutional for $1. Without no evidence, you yourself came and dispute that what he said, showing the facts and everything. You know, the media still run with Alan Shastney saying that constitutional the government sold it for $1 for the other company in Trinidad, and they're going with that as if these people, if you really check how they're going now, they're more thinking Shastney and them running with their thing than the truth. When the Prime Minister and you and other people come in and say reality and show your truth, they never ask them, where is your fact? There are things that should even make news, and never making news is that just running that like Fade tonight their head. Fade that start the news over 2 minutes, 3 minutes just talking nonsense, and you'll have that running with that. So your media people, set up yourself, because you'll have questions to answer after.
All right. Thank you, George. But George made a very important point. As Shastney, why you give Hakim all the CIP you blame him now? You gave them an authority.
They don't question him.
Yeah. You give Hakim the authority to sell our passports. You gave him the authority, and this is the agreement, sir. You signed it. You show him the agreement, you signed it. Why did you give him the authority, first and foremost, to sell our passports? And secondly, to place the proceeds there in an account out of the jurisdiction to which none of the government officials have access?
You don't have access.
You don't have only
and if you want anything from it, you have to ask him. And he has the authority to say, well, no.
You know, And we accepting that kind
Richard,
of BS.
Nobody is that stupid. I warn y'all. I'm warning y'all.
So you mean stupidity is not the underlying factor?
Stupidity is like, I foolish people, don't look at me, I foolish. Foolish.
But then you want to do like the man says, Paku your fils in
It's a tout
ça
ça affaire. Il pas intéressé. It's a tout ça affaire. National word.
So you mean there is another consideration?
There is another consideration. He ain't stupid at all.
Yeah, but that's stupidity to the extreme, you know, Albert.
He ain't stupid at all.
So his stupidity is not the underlying cause or factor.
Richard,
what you attribute it to?
You remember when we were detectives, and when I start interviewing I playing stupid with them, right? Because if you as the detective, you're stupid.
Yeah.
They relax and they start.
Because I know you wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't do that. You want something to eat?
Right. Yes, I play stupid. You know?
Imagine, boy, I've had so many experiences, Albert. I remember one time a fella thief a whole set of money. Say, boss man, my girlfriend home. I've been here for about 7 days. They're not letting us see me. Boss man, I'll give you the money if you bring me home and you let me spend a little private time with my... So I said, I'm bringing you home. You're not seeing her. You give me the money first. Lord have mercy, Albert. Our closing was here. I think we have outlived our usefulness. It's now 20 after 11.
Yes, I suspect
So we've taken another hour and a half.
I might have to sleep in the balcony tonight.
No, Val is not that kind of egregious human being. She's very considerate, and I know that she will not let you sleep in uncomfortable quarters.
Okay.
I'm pleading my case, Your Honor. Yeah.
I might have to drive back to your place and ask your dogs if they'll allow me.
Well, the last time I said I had a big dog cage, I was lynched, man. I was excoriated because, you know, in the political palace, you threw a little punch here and there. Because it's one thing with me, Albert, I can take. But trust me, I can fire back.
You can give.
I can fire back. So, your closing words?
Yes, indeed. Thanks very much for being with us tonight. I think we covered a number of topics and it was very interesting and so on. Don't forget, next week we will be dealing with those hospital supplies, where they gone, how they gone, where they gone, and all that kind of thing, and who gone them. We'll be dealing with that next week.
Next week.
Thanks very much and
where the material gone?
Yes.
Is the question, the new spin question for Can I Help You next week? Where the material, that among other issues invariably, because that cannot exhaust, the longevity of our show, but we will delve into it and speak to the legalities that surround what actually transpired. Lois Thomas, good night to you down in library. So, on Sunday, I will be in library myself. The sad thing is I might have to go to 2 masses, but I can't. Last Sunday, I was so tired, Sunday gone. I did not go to my 6 o'clock mass, so I apologize to all those who did not see me in church on Sunday morning. I will be there, God willing, this Sunday at 6 o'clock. And thereafter, I should be at mass in Monrepo for 10. And from Monrepo, we converge on library. So I have a packed Sunday, and Monday morning, Pete wants me in his cabinet or else he'll fire me.
Let me just send a message to Lloyd before you.
Oh, yes.
Lloyd Thomas, the last time I spoke to you, I'm telling you that I have roots in library, but I was going down the wrong trail. I said it was Ramon, but my great whatever he wasn't. They used to call him Ramon, but his name was Ramon Charles. He was Raymond Charles. So Charles is the surname. So check it out for me, please. Yeah, thanks, Lloyd. Just check that out for me. It's the Charleses down library.
You mean you know not where your heritage extends to?
Let me tell you something. It was the man come from
good night to you,
from
Brian
library with
August,
his 3 daughters. And he went to Denver with his 3 daughters. Right?
And he had children with 3 daughters.
No, he had his 3. He went to Denver with his 3 daughters from library. And that is where I come from.
Okay. Also, you come from library, found...
in Denver.
Lord. Yeah, mass, but look, somebody tell me mass in Mopo is 8 p.m. Magdalene, good night to you. Mass in Mopo is 8 a.m. Well, I'll be late, Father. I'll be late for Mass because I go into my 6 o'clock Mass first in Castries. From Castries, we'll drive down to Mopo. I'll be there, and from there, I understood that breakfast will be served. Imagine you all want to kill us with food there because breakfast in Mopo at 10 o'clock, and by the time we leave library's lunch. Folks, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Live clean, because what you sow, you are bound to reap. Be careful of the pit that you dig for others. It may just be your own. And if somebody tells you, don't try and pick that fruit because it's sour, rest assured you should go for it. Any task they tell you it's impossible to perform is because they know it would lead to your betterment. Don't rely on anybody's advice. You can take it into account, but at the end of the day, make whatever decision you believe is in your best interest and that of your family. Take care, folks. See you next Thursday, God willing. Goodbye.